As someone who's trying to improve, my understanding of other people who have struggles that are, uniquely and totally different than my own. For me, my biggest struggles and my biggest, sources of pain, especially intimately, are obviously being a man who's not straight in America, being someone who grew up being bullied through middle and high school, especially. I feel like when people begin to hit puberty, they begin to start having, their feelings, people they're drawn to. That's, I think, when they're their most, vulnerable and insecure, because they see people around them who have more, who may draw, more of the type of people they like. If someone's straight, maybe they see other guys, drawing more women, and they don't understand why. Maybe it's because they have more money, they have a nicer car. Maybe it's because they're better looking, based on more people's perceptions. They're taller, they're more skinny. Whatever the, features, the proportions on the face, whatever it may be that, makes someone have more competition, regardless if they're gay or straight or whatever. I understand that. It's when people are most insecure. But I also like to think in terms of how people address their issues. And as someone trying to be more understanding of others, I also look at it from a point of, at least from in my experience and, my personal values. When people face traumas, they overcome obstacles in their life. A lot of times people do retreat and they self-medicate. I don't care if it's with alcohol, if it's, marijuana, if it's any type of, substance that provides an altered mental state that's different from when they're on, said substance. And to me, I don't want to become the old adage of someone grabbing someone's, shirt collar and saying you're weak. You're submitting to drugs versus handling the issue. But consequentially, in my value system, if someone has an issue in their life, may it be they have a boss, a coworker, a bully at school, someone who's causing them pain or hurting them, stunting their growth, their development, or just causing, damage, whatever it may be, a parent, an issue at home, an insecurity within. A lot of times people, unfortunately, resort to that, self-retreat of handling it that way. And to me, in my value system, weak is obviously a good way to describe it, but I also think it's a bit more complex than that. In my value system, if something is afflicting you or hurting you that's external, I believe in handling it. I don't believe in taking drugs or alcohol to quell a pain, a problem, an agitation. I see it as addressing it head on, either trying to solve it or leaving the environment or changing, the traits of the environment or whatever, things in the environment to make it more suitable, more tolerable, so that way one doesn't have to make modifications that way. Whatever the context, abusive coworker, if you got an abusive parent, whatever, I think it's best to address it, try to solve it, try to fix the issue versus self-medicating. Because to me, that's just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound that's going to rupture every time you crawl out of bed. I think finding a real solution is one that's long-term, one that is permanent. And I believe that if one is able to overcome their problems through that way, externally, and changing something for the better, that will give them confidence to adopt more of that modus operandi in the rest of their life. If someone has an abusive parent and they report them, or maybe their dad's assaulting their mom and they grab their dad and say, if you touch her again, I'll kill you. I think if people are able to address the issues and maybe fix it, maybe their dad gets arrested that night and things start getting better. Maybe if it's a situation at work, they're able to solve it. If they can gain the confidence that their situation was better, that things are on a better track by their action, their ability to get up and say no more, this is wrong, that will give them the confidence to apply the same beliefs and the same values going forward in life. Whereas if they sat there and smoked weed and crashed out in a beanbag chair, they're not solving the problem. They're prolonging it. They're listening to noise. They're not trying to make the noise better, more healthy. They're only trying to prolong it and maybe give themselves some temporary, momentary situational relief. And I believe in long-term solutions. And we as a world have a lot of problems. I've got a lot of problems. I've had a lot of shit that was done to me up in Duluth. But I believe that I'm going to push forward for what's right.